Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Gratiot Isabella RESD podcast. This one is a little bit different because we are live on scene with my co-host here, Paul Hungerford, and two of our special guests today. We've got Kylie Kockensparger and Jennie Arlt. So tell us a little bit about why we're here today.
Well, we're here today at Alma High School for the Mid-Michigan Career Recruitment Expo. We brought in about 1,000 students. Right now, we're just over 55 employers. The snow delay kind of hurt us last week, so we had to reschedule it to the 20th, but 3 sessions, and so we got a bunch of kids going through and engaging with students.
Awesome.
So from a planning perspective, this is year 2. Yep. Year 1 was definitely a success. It's really quickly becoming one of the hallmark events that we offer in the region. So can you give us a little bit of an idea of what the degree of planning that takes place and when you start planning this? Kind of take us from the time that it ended last year to full circle this year. Just an overview, a 30,000-foot view of what it takes to pull off an event of this magnitude.
Yep.
We're going to talk about our initial planning with meeting with Alma High School administrators, and I'll talk about meeting with the students.
Yeah. So we last year after our event, we sent out a survey to all of our employers just to get some feedback, what they thought. Jennie and I made sure we incorporated that into this year's. So we started right when the school year began. We started sending out our invitation to all of our employers to get a big jump on that. So
it was probably in October.
October-ish.
October.
Yep. And we kept touching back the whole time. We had employers signing up all the way until last Tuesday. So a lot of planning went into that, along with our schools, keeping them on board with everything that we're doing. Yeah.
And then a few weeks prior to the event, Kylie and I traveled to all the local high schools who are attending today, and we meet with the students and we just tell them what to prepare for, what to expect for today. We want to put them at ease, let them know who's going to be here, so we give an overview of all the employers and what career clusters they fall into. We encourage them to bring resumes. We do encourage them to dress professionally. We give examples of resumes. We give examples of questions they could be prepared to ask the employer, so when they get up to the table, they don't feel like they don't have anything to say. They're kind of have some questions in the back of their minds. We also give the employer some advice on how to interact with the students, but they always do a good job anyway. As we've talked to a few employers today, they're really impressed with the engagement of the students. Many students are leaving their resumes because we really encourage students to update their resumes, have their teachers look over them, and then actually print them out and bring multiple copies.
And one of the big focuses for us is getting kids placed. We talk with our employers about that when they do their registration. We have them fill out a registration and check a box if they'd be willing to offer a summer job, a co-op, an internship. And so we have over 130 work-based learning opportunities for our students available today. And as Paul mentioned, last year was our first year. So we have grown exponentially since last year. Last year we were at 54. We were supposed to have 77 employers, but with our weather delay, that kind of knocked that down a little bit. But we have over 1,000 students this year, and we had 600 last year. So the growth has been huge.
And one thing we did for the students prior to the event is we gave them a printed out, double-sided description of all the businesses who are here and just an overview of each business, and then if they were willing to offer any work-based learning opportunities. And so we encouraged the students to take their time, read through that, highlight or circle the companies they for sure wanted to visit. We wanted them to give a sense of having like a goal when they got here. We only have an hour and a half. I for sure want to meet with these 6 companies, and then hopefully they talk to more than that, but we wanted them to have a plan in place. And we also encourage them to go to each of the company's websites. Just as best practice when you're interviewing for any type of job, find out about the culture of the company, the programs, or, the departments they have. And so I think the students were really receptive to that.
They were advised them.
Can you explain how this might be a little bit different from a typical career fair?
Yeah. So like I mentioned just a little bit ago, our big push is getting students placed. When you go to a typical career fair, there's a lot of just walking around, meeting with employers, chatting really quick. But when our students walk up to our employer tables, there's a sign right on the table, and it'll say, for example, Trident Manufacturing, and then it'll say, ask me about my co-ops available, my apprenticeship. So those students and know once again right there what that company is offering. Our goal is to have students walk out with jobs today. I've already gotten a few notifications that some students have some placements, and so that's our big goal. That's our big push right there, and that's how we like to differ that from your typical career fair, and that's why we labeled it your Career Expo or Recruitment Expo. Yeah.
So, obviously these are juniors and seniors that are coming through here today. That can really, now that it's year 2, I know from working closely enough with both of you in your department that this is something that is going to be annual to the best of our abilities. And I say our very loosely. It's all of your show. You guys do such a great job with it. So now that you've got it established, and after year 2, and it's already I can already see it. Now you can almost work with a end. You know what the end looks like as far as their experience per se of a culmination of a lot of work of years. When as career navigators, maybe explain what your role is and how early you try your best to start talking with kids about thinking about their futures. When do you start? When's that entry point? And maybe talk about what that entry point looks like to where you end up like today from a high school or from a student perspective.
Yeah.
So we have basically our career education program is divided into 3 units. We have career awareness, and that's kindergarten through 5th grade. So we just want to make students aware of different careers that exist. We have a big campaign in March where we have guest readers from all over the community to work in all sorts of jobs. They come into elementary classrooms, tell the students about what they do for work, how they got into that line of work, and then read a story related to their job. And then the students can ask questions. And then we support schools in their Career Awareness Week activities. Then in middle school, starting 7th grade and then going through 10th grade, we have what we call career exploration. And so we meet with students regularly and help them explore different careers. There's a great program called Naviance that we introduce the students to, and it's just a really great resource that the students have access to through their school Google account starting 7th grade through 12th grade. And they could spend hours upon hours learning about all different jobs, taking self-assessments, looking into colleges, military options, trade schools. It's just a really valuable resource that starting in 7th grade, we introduce them to it, we let them explore it, we guide them through it, but then we say, you could spend hours on your own time. Do it on if you're somebody who really likes to explore and learn about opportunities, spend your evenings, your weekends, you have access to it. And then in 7th grade, I'll let you talk about that.
Yeah, so in 7th grade, we have our 2 campuses for the GI Tech Centers. We have the Alma Mount Pleasant. Our Mount Pleasant campus had 16 programs, so it's a little bit larger than our Alma one. But in 7th grade, we bring every 7th grader in the 2 counties up to the Tech Center. We tour them through there so they can see all 16 different programs available. And we like to get that on their radar at an early age. So then they can start planning their high school classes. And we like to let them know, you got to stay on top of your grade if you want to do this stuff. So that's a big campaign we do in our 7th grade. Then when we get to the high school, we'll start to focus more with our kids on an individual basis. If they, whatever placement they want, whatever direction they want to head, we tell them we won't track you down, but if you want to utilize our services, we're here for you. Jennie and I have connections with tons of companies in Gratiot and Isabella County. And so our big goal, especially moving forward, was getting students out into the workforce. That's what we want to see. We want to see our kids working. Our employers want to see their talent stay low. That's a big push for our employers.
So even in 7th grade, and then when we visit them again in the years after, we let them know in 11th and 12th grade, we call it career preparation.
Yep.
That's when we want them to inquire about co-op opportunities, job shadowing, of course attending the Career Expo. So it's a big push for that, and they all know that that's something to look forward to, 11th to 12th grade. But we did visit all of the GI Tech programs in Mount Pleasant and Alma to let students know that we're here to help them set up with co-ops, job shadows, possible apprenticeships if a company offers it. So they know that we're the resource for them, and they could reach out to us directly or talk to their instructor, who could then reach out to us. And part of our job is once students have been set up with a co-op, we then go and do site visits and safety checks and just kind of make sure they're on track with fulfilling those responsibilities.
Yep. Yeah, and you may not be able to tell based on how noisy it is in the audio, but there's a lot of energy in this room right now. Yeah. There's a lot of excitement. I hear the conversations that students are having with the employers. They're engaging. It's not just like in the past walking around and handing out resumes. They're actually engaged and having conversations, and I think that's very impactful. Yeah, it's very inspiring. Very inspiring.
I know as a high school student, I maybe would have been a little intimidated, but it's very impressive to see these students. They're, having meaningful conversations, and we do hope they came in feeling confident and prepared. That was our goal.
And one thing we do is we ask our employers to bring in prizes for our raffle table, and then we give out tickets to our employers. So when they engage with students and our employers feel they had a meaningful conversation, they give them a little raffle ticket and they bring it up to the crowd. Well, our little raffle bucket's been full all day long. Kids are at our table dropping tickets off nonstop. So that's encouraging for Jennie and I. It shows us how many kids are talking to these employers.
Well, yeah, as we wrap up, what a fantastic event. Like I said, it's really becoming one of those hallmark events. We have a few of them in a year, and for us being an RESD, we're connected with schools, but we're very much so different than a local school. And Kevin was just talking about the energy in the room and in the gym, and in this gymnasium's a nice, good-sized gym that Kylie's in on a regular basis, and I'm in, and then a somewhat semi-regular basis. But we're in gyms all the time, Kylie, for basketball games and things like that, as we enjoy officiating. And like Kevin was saying, there's an energy in here that is different than a basketball game. But at the same time, at least for me, and I think I can speak for both of us, it's maybe even more so exciting to see it in this aspect, because educational athletics help build the foundation for a young person's future. But this is the doors that are opening because of all those experiences. So thank you both for all the effort that you put into making this a reality. It's definitely something that I know, and you both know, that our communities, our two counties, appreciate all of your efforts. So thank you very much. This is an awesome day. It's about midday point. People are getting ready to get some lunch and things like that, and getting ready for that second wave. So excellent job. It goes to you guys.
Yeah, well, I'd like to thank Alma High School and their administration as well. They're so gracious to host us. And from last year, and I was even told again, we want it here every single year. So without Alma High School and what they're willing to put up for us, this is impossible to do.
Oh, fantastic work. Thanks for joining us today.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, we're back now with Solomon from Revolution Electric. So I'll turn this now over to Paul.
Yeah, Solomon. So I had the pleasure of stopping by your guys' booth, and really want to thank you again for being here. And, I've been in education for a lot longer than what I think I have been. It's been close to 30 years now. And, and I just love hearing about people's stories and things like that. Can you do a couple things for us? One, explain what Revolution is, what the company is, and then two, just share a little bit about your story that you shared with me, because
for sure,
I think it really resonates with the young people you're meeting today.
Okay, yeah. So Revolution Electric, it's a local-owned company here in Alma, Michigan. I've got my boss, and there's 3 of us under him. We actually just recently hired a sophomore in high school. He helps us in the summertime. He's great. He's great work for us. We do a lot of work around the area, and now we do travel, an hour north, an hour south for certain jobs, but we have a good contract at St. Louis High School, Alma High School. Do a lot of good work around here. We do a lot of generators. You call us, we can pretty much do anything that you need us to for electrical-wise, so it's good. We're a faith-based owned company. I love to share that part of our story. We show up to work every morning. We do a morning prayer, and it gets our day started in a great way, so yeah, I love that about us. A little bit about my story is I graduated here at Alma High School. I always knew I wanted to get in the trades a little bit. I wasn't sure what exactly I was going to do, so I tried options. I did things. I did certain things, and that's kind of what I tell a lot of these students here is, don't be afraid to do something and not like it and then quit it, I've always had a not quit mentality, but when it comes to your future and what you got going on for a job, I've always tried to tell people, if you're making some decent money, but you hate your job, don't do it. It's not worth it. And I learned that kind of the hard way. And I went and worked a factory job, actually, in Mount Pleasant. And man, I tell you what,
I was not a fan. I was making really good money, and I was working 7 days a week, and those 2 extra days on the weekend I was making overtime. But to me, it just wasn't worth it. I did not like it, and so I tried a different job. I did some construction. Like, man, this just isn't for me. And so I just kept my options open, and I kept working, and I ended up getting a call about Revolution Electric, and so I worked for them. They hired me on, and man, I fell in love with it. And I knew that I had a great boss and a great opportunity ahead of me. And so I ran with it, man, and it's been very good ever since then. So
That's awesome.
I'm absolutely happy with it.
Yeah, and you can't get more local than Alma.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I got a nice house that I live 5 minutes away from where I work, and I'm right in between everything I love. It's kind of agricultural, and I can still hunt and fish, and I love my work, man. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really important that's a big part of this career fair is keeping local students local and jobs that are here in this area.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, so what do you think? I mean, we're about halfway through the day. You've probably, I don't know, there's probably been about 400 or 500 students that have come through.
Yeah.
In totality, I think we're going to have a little over 1,000 students for the day. What's been a surprise for you? What's your impression of the young people that have stopped by to have a conversation with you?
I think we're in a little bit of a new era, and it's nice to see that there's kids out there that are really ambitious to get to work, and a lot of them are a little worried on how to get there, and so that's kind of what my main job here today is, I feel like, is to explain my story a little bit and how I got there. It's not easy, and I told a lot of the kids, if you want the college route, take it. If you want the work route, take it. The opportunities are there. It's right in front of you, and a lot of what I told them is talk to people. I've talked to many people in my life that I thought were higher up in the world, that are very respected, and so I've talked to them, and I've grown as that. But I told them, get out there. And a lot of these kids, they're asking me questions that I can't believe they're asking me. It's almost weird to see, but it's great that they're ambitious to get out there and work. And as far as trade go as a whole, and they've been growing more and more. A lot of kids are trying to get into the union, get into actual workforce right away. Yeah, I love it. So it's good to see that.
That's great. That's great. As you can hear in the background, we're giving some directives out. It's getting closer to lunchtime, so I might ask you another question or two, but then let you get to some lunch and all those things. But so you said you were a graduate of Alma High School, so I'm assuming that you participated in some extracurriculars and things like that. So and we're very blessed to have a strong CTE program that's very connected with our communities, and like you said, our goals as educators is to open up as many pathways as possible. But one thing too that I always share with students is take advantage of the opportunities that are in front of you. So what opportunities did you have here at Alma High School that you feel really helped prepare you to work through your decision-making process? Because I can already tell that you were a very in-depth thinker, so that doesn't happen by accident. So what role did the school play in it for you during our time here?
Actually, they did a great job of it. Growing up, I always told my family I was going to be an engineer. That's what I wanted to do. And so junior year hits, and that's when you're able to take the CTE class this year, I believe. And that's changed. But pre-engineering popped up, and I was like, man, I love engineering. I love what it has to offer, but I didn't know too much about it. And so I took the class, and I really did. I enjoyed it. But the more I went through the class, I realized, I don't think this is for me. And they did a great job doing the class. I did a lot of coding and making some cool things, 3D designs and whatnot. And I did a lot. And it really opened my eyes up to thinking, this is awesome, but it's not me. And so the next year, my senior year, I did a CTE class on Mount Pleasant. It was construction and trades. And so I thought, this might sound like a little bit more like me. And they did a great job up there. We did a section on plumbing, a section on electrical, a section on building. And it was a whole year thing for me, and I loved it. I spent my first 2 hours a day up there, and I got to see a lot about what happens in the trades and how it works, and find out what I liked. And so as far as the school, they did a fantastic job of getting that out there to the students, and I had some friends in my class that are doing trades now today, and I think we got to give a lot of credit to the school for sure, because they did a good job.
Well, that's encouraging to hear. To wrap up, like I said when we got started, it is always inspiring to see young people, young professionals that have taken different routes. And because, from speaking of quite a long time ago when I was in school, there were, not that there weren't the trades, right? There were, but there weren't as many programs as what's offered today. And so I really want to sincerely thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
I think it's really awesome for students to come and look at somebody that's only been out of school a few years, but then to say, like you just said, you've got a house, you enjoy what you're doing.
Yep.
There's qualities of the aspect of, if I heard you correctly, you were in a position that you might have made more money per se, but there were other aspects of your work now that were game changers for you.
For sure.
Having the faith-based, family type orientation of your company now, and those types of things really help solidify and know that you're in the right place. So Solomon, thank you very much for being here.
Absolutely.
More importantly, thank you for sharing your story, and keep up your good work. We appreciate you. All right.
Absolutely.
Okay, and we're back once again now with Garth Anderson from Commercial Bank. Nice to meet you.
Nice to be here.
Thanks for joining us, Garth. So Garth, I think you guys were here representing the bank last year, right?
That's correct.
So this is year 2. Couple things. One, can you explain and share your role that you've had at the bank and those types of things, your career there, and then what's your initial thoughts from year 1 to year 2 of the Expo?
At the bank, I'm a lender, so I loan money to people, mainly businesses. But I mean, I've done all of it: mortgage lending, personal lending, all kinds of stuff. So actually, I majored in marketing way back in the day, and so I think what I bring to the bank is just an ability to be out there representing our bank. And as these kids come through here, I get talking to them, they ask questions. So for me, it's kind of you need to find out what your personality is. And because at one point I was kind of shy at one time, and I never thought that I would do what I do for a bank, being out there representing the bank and trying to bring the bank into a good light in the community. So I talked to different ones, and you can tell right away they rather go into accounting, maybe a little marketing, or others that would. And so this is kind of neat for me to hear from them. What does your personality say that you would like to do? What are some different things? They'll ask us, what are all the different things I could do in the bank? And I enjoy those. So last week and last year and this year, it's been fun having the kids, because some of them have really good questions.
Yeah.
Really good, engaging questions. I like that.
Yeah, that's great. Fantastic.
Yeah. Have you noticed anything different from last year compared to this year?
Well, other than we had to put it off for a week, maybe that
We did have a little weather delay. That's
tables, maybe that.
one of the things that happens when you plan an event in winter in Michigan.
Yeah. No, and so, there's roughly, I think originally there was 70 some employers that were going to be here. It's a little bit lighter than that because of just the rescheduled date that we had to do because of the weather we experienced a week ago. But over 1,000 students that are going to come through here today. We're about halfway point. So we could assume that maybe about half of those students have come through. Garth, you and I, at least it's a privilege on my part. I've gotten to know you in several different organizations that I know mean a tremendous amount to me, but you've been here quite a bit longer than I have in this area, Gratiot County, things like that. How important of a role is it for institutions like the bank and other partners that we have in Gratiot County? I just know we talk about all the time how blessed we are to be in the communities that we're in, and you're very much so the face of, like you said, you're out there. And, how important is it to be involved in this, not only economy that's in Gratiot County, but in the community that is Gratiot County?
Yeah, what I told a few of the kids so far this morning is that one thing that Commercial Bank is a community bank. You really are. You will see us, lenders in other positions in the bank. We're out there doing the different things. And for me, as you know, Paul, already, the youth of the community, that's super important to me. I'm in Rotary, we're together in Rotary, and we get NHS students to come in once a month. I like to present Rotary to them, and then on the bank's part, I like to present what a career in the bank would be to them and how we give back to the community by being a community bank. I mean, you could throw that term out there and say they're a community bank. There's certain parameters to me for you being able to be called a community bank, and that's the stuff you actually do to give back in your community. And our bank does a good job of that. And our leaders in our bank, they want us out there doing that stuff. And our president, Kevin Collison, you see him at things. And So I think our bank is really into that. And so when we talk about an expo like this, we just want to be here and say, hey, this bank is something down the road, might not be a bad place to work for, and you can do stuff as a community, and you can. We like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it's important. We're in the world of education, and with you being in the world of finance and banking, but to be that community, like you said, your actions and where you're seen, that is a big piece of what defines if you're a community or not. Are you in these spaces? Because it's real easy to say. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of work sitting at your office that's the tangible work that you're going to have to figure out how to get that done, because that is very important. You've got people waiting for decisions to be made for financing and all those things, but here you are taking, let's just say everybody says an 8-hour workday, right? We know that that's tongue-in-cheek to some levels with professions, but you're taking an entire day, setting that work not aside, but really saying, I'm going to be here for a day, and that level of commitment is just important. And we're just blessed that there's several professionals in our area that do that. So thank you for doing that, because in commercial bank, because that impact is felt with our students, and I know it's felt within our schools. And so I know I can safely speak on behalf of our educational systems in Gratiot County that we really appreciate everything you and in commercial bank do for our kids. So thank you.
I could say, Paul, that when I was this age, I wish there was something like this for me to have gone to, because I went into college not having an idea at all. Yeah, I think they get to go around to these different tables and have something spark in them. Oh, I didn't even realize that was an option.
Yeah.
I love that for these kids, that they can have an idea.
So in that answer, you sparked a question for me. So they would never guess it watching you and I interact at different things like Rotary and getting up in front of big groups of people and things, but I too was really reserved. I mean, I loved athletics and things like that, but those old day impromptu speeches where you'd get a topic that you had to draw out of a hat and you only had to speak for 30 seconds, I would get cold sweats. So I know in my career where the defining moment was of where, hey, I'm building this skill set, and it's something that I really enjoy. When was that for you, where all of a sudden that switch came on, where somebody exposed you to some opportunity, and it's like, no, this is me. This is who I can be. What was that for you?
Man, that was probably early in my career, because I've told a couple of people today already, I was super shy in high school. And that SDA 101 at CMU, when I had to give speeches, I'm like, okay, I didn't realize how much and honestly, to tell you the truth, that was probably the best class I took early on, because it made me get up in front of some people. Sure. And so all of a sudden I'm going, I can kind of do this. And then maybe oddly enough, my wife, I married into her family, and her dad he was not afraid to just be himself in front of whoever.
Sure.
And I watched that and I'm like, we are who we are. Don't be afraid to be that in front of other people. And so that opened up some ideas. And then I had a big brother in the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. And you know what that's meant to me too. I've been the president of that organization. I had been for years. That's a big deal for me. And he actually is the one who referred me to come into the insurance business.
Good.
And then I joined Rotary just after that. And all of a sudden I'm going, wow, I think I can do this and be who I am and be myself. I remember when I had to click, just be yourself.
Sure.
And I think you're giving the opportunity to these students here today to be that and see the different diverse job opportunities that are out there, but just have the opportunity to shake your hand, have a conversation, and maybe find out if it's right for them or not.
Yeah. And I was realistic with a couple of them, say, you may not know right now where your personality is where it's gonna, blossom, bloom, whatever. Yep. I thought that I would always do this, but then I ended up doing this, because you find out some stuff later on. So what's your personality? What would you be strong? It's great talking to them about that stuff.
Well, again, Garth, we sincerely appreciate you being here today, being here last year. Appreciate everything that you do in the community. Appreciate, the support that you give to students, because unfortunately, due to schedules and things like that, I'm not at Rotary as much as I'd like to be. It's a fantastic organization. It has a youth portion to it, to where you, is it junior Rotary? What's it you're
I
doing?
don't think it calls them junior Rotarians.
Yep.
What we do is we just line up the NHS advisor here, National
Yep.
Honor Society,
Yep.
and we have them pick out a couple students to
Sure. And when they come and see that, they see there's always a different type of program that's going on, and they see people that are good role models for them. And like you said, when I was growing up, we didn't get these opportunities, and we had supportive adults in our worlds, that's for sure, but more so than ever. Just again, thank you so very much for being you, being the person that you found yourself to be, and what you continue to be for all of us. So thank you very much. And we appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's right.
Okay, now since lunch has passed and some more students have come back in, we have Liberty and Victoria here with us. And Liberty, you are a sophomore, correct? And Victoria, you're a senior,
Correct.
and you participated last year, right?
Yeah, I did.
In this? Okay, wonderful. So both students at Alma High School?
Yes.
Awesome. So since you've been here before, what are you hoping to see different from what you saw last year?
My first year last year experiencing this kind of event, like looking at different jobs and stuff like that, kind of helped me figure out, like, being a young teenager, you don't really know what you want to do, but something like this can help, like, figure out, like, if you want to go into medical, business, wilderness, the Air Force, Navy. It gives you a bunch of different career options to look at. And honestly, I don't think I would change a thing. I think everything is very informal. It's very straightforward. You go around, look at things that you're interested in, and yeah.
But yeah. So Liberty being a sophomore, first time, right?
Yes.
So what's that? And you guys literally, to be clear to everybody, they just walked in the door. And so we basically had one of them, the principal went and got, Principal Thaler went, and then Liberty here was walking by smiling. I'm like, you want to join us? So off she comes, and so it's good. So Liberty, what are you hoping to get from today, and how have you been prepared for today?
So I'm kind of just looking for like other ways to like get into the business, because I kind of know what I want to do, but not for sure. So it is good to like have variety in your off season. I really like how it's set up, and it's pretty cool. So
Excellent. So to build off your answer there, so what are you interested in? Being a sophomore, it's great to hear that being a sophomore you have an idea of what you think you might be interested in. What is it? What field?
I really like the military. Looking to go to the Navy. So not really the college route or us.
Yeah, good for you. Victoria, how about you? Who are you hoping to visit with today?
I plan on getting my like regular classes done at Mid-Michigan, and then transferring to like a different college for nursing. So going to having an opportunity to talk to someone in person about like that, and then transferring helps you figure out like just to save money and stuff like that.
So do either of you participate in that CTE program here? Or are you in the
No, not in health. I last minute decided to go into nursing compared to like my other major that I wanted to do, but it changed.
So you are in the CT program?
No, I am in CT, just business management.
business management? Okay. So how do you like your business management class?
I honestly love it. It helps me like develop like teamwork. Our teacher really like focuses on that, like different like how to sell stuff, how to like create an event, and how to advertise it, so it really helps.
Excellent. Yeah, this is a great opportunity to get out there and speak to so many different vendors and businesses and employers. Is there anything else that might interest you, or you just have sort of that mindset right now?
Mindset for what?
Mindset of what you want to go into.
No, yeah, I'm pretty set straight on going to mid, getting my transcripts done and for college, and then transferring. That's pretty much what I want to do for my life.
So how about both of you? So obviously Alma High School, that's where we're at today. It's just awesome. It's got to be kind of nice to have it at your own school and be able to walk down the hallway, and here you are. And I mean, it's quite the sight here to look out and think that 1,000 students are coming through your gym today, and over 80% of them are visiting students from other schools and things like that. And being that your school has a CTE, you're a CTE hub for the RASD, which is where we work, what's it like to take classes with students from other schools, to know that your school hosts programs that other schools may not be able to or don't have, and they're coming in? How do you like having classes with students from different schools?
Having CTE, it definitely expanded my range of like people that I know. Alma is a very small town, so like your circle feels kind of like a little closed off a little bit. So like walking into that class, I was kind of nervous because I didn't know anybody. I didn't take the class for like my friends or anything. So expanding outside of my bubble was introducing me to new people, getting outside my comfort zone, and working with people that I don't usually work with outside of my school that I'm comfortable with. So definitely expanded my comfort zone.
Good. So, Liberty, do you have any desire? I mean, I'm sure now you guys are getting real close to talking about what classes look like next year. I spent over 20 years in a high school setting, so I'm still wired for the academic calendar. Spring break's coming up pretty quick, right? You guys aren't looking forward to that at all. No, I'm kidding. Okay. But, so are you thinking about going in, taking any of the CTE classes, or not?
Oh, my first interest ever was culinary, so I want to kind of explore that before fully ruling it out. So I'm going to go do the culinary CTE, and I like how it's in Mount Pleasant because you don't always have to stay in Alma for everything. So kind of expand on pretty much everything.
That's good. So extracurriculars here at Alma, because everybody says get the full experience, things like that. So both of you, what other types of things do you do in your free time, whether it's school activities, outside of school? There's a lot of demands on students nowadays and those types of things, but what do you like to do in your free time?
For me, I have participated 4 years in varsity volleyball, basketball, and soccer. So that has kept me pretty busy, but outside of like school things, I participate in Youth for Christ and stuff like that. I help with youth groups and stuff like 6th grade. I volunteer for that sometimes. I was going to be a part of student council, but wasn't really interested in it until it was too late, but I wish I would have. Other than that, I'm really not part of a whole lot. Sports keep you really busy.
You're part of the lot. That's cool. That's a full 3-sport athlete, all those things. You're a part of the lot, and that's fantastic. How about you?
For me, I'm a dancer at APA here in Alma. I'm in the Boy Scouts. I guess achieved Eagle rank actually this Sunday, which is the highest ranked in CU. So that kept me really busy. I volunteer at church a lot. I still like volunteering, so getting all those volunteer opportunities. So really don't have any time for it.
Yes. So what was your project for Eagle Scout? Because that's big. That just doesn't happen by accident. So
my project was to do a flag retirement box at the Alma Library, so where people can like bring their friends and we'll retire them for them.
Fantastic. Excellent. Kevin, how about you? You have any more else for these? Any other questions for these?
No, I don't think so. I don't want to take up too much of their time because they need to go down.
We got to get their expo done, but we sincerely appreciate the opportunity to meet both of you. This is why we do what we do. Kevin works in the technology department. He helps support St. Louis and Breckenridge schools, and then I'm a superintendent, so I sit in meetings all day long and things like that. But it's awesome to hear stories of young people, and you guys both have bright futures in front of you. And thank you for taking time today to share your thoughts about today, and we wish you the best.
Thank you very much. Okay, and we got our last round of students here from Alma High School. We have Jack and Keegan. One's a senior and one's a junior here at Alma High School. So I'm just going to turn this over to Paul for questions.
Excellent. All right. So Keegan, you're senior. So I'm assuming that you participated in the Expo last year?
I did, yeah.
All right. So first question, how'd it go for you last year? And then we're pretty early into your session here this year. What are you hoping to gain from your experience last year and going into a senior year? Because, hey, in a few months you're walking across that stage and graduating and a new chapter of your life, right? So how's this day of the Expo fit in with your future plans, hopefully someday?
So junior year, I didn't really have a plan, so I kind of just came out here and just kind of talked to a lot of people, just kind of passing around, just kind of seeing what's out there. And didn't really do anything with it. And then recently I did enlist in the National Guard. So they've got a table over here that I've been talking to him for a bit, talked to some other guys about, what that looks like for them. So just kind of making the most of that, I guess.
Yeah, well, Keegan, thank you, first of all, for enlisted with the National Guard. That's something to be extremely proud of, and we're blessed in the area of Gratiot County. I think the recruiters really have a good success rate, and I think it's a testament to your guys' upbringing and the commitment to our country and things like that. So thank you very much for signing up that way. Jack, right? Yep. So junior, you did sneak in here as a sophomore last year.
No.
I know we have some people that have snuck in, maybe not snuck in, but they're in here as sophomores. So it's been pretty early, but have you gotten to speak with any companies, and if yes, how'd it go? And then what's your interest areas?
So basically my interest for college is going to be business. I turned in an application to Premier for a co-op next year. That's what I'm looking at. And I just think it's a good opportunity for us to see a lot of businesses.
Yeah. So in the nighttime, I officiate football and basketball, so I was actually in this gym Tuesday night.
Yep.
They allowed me back in, so we must have did an all right job. The Panthers won, so
We did.
you know, there that is.
So that's what I'm bringing.
But you know, so Kylie and I were talking, or Kylie Kockensparger, which you probably know Kylie, he officiates as well, and but he was a big piece of putting this all together. You know, there's an environment in here when athletics take place.
Yeah.
And there's an environment at the pool when athletics are taking place. But, you know, how do you compare the two? Because this is pretty cool too. It's not basketball getting played and all those other things, but think about this. This is your home high school. The gym is going to have about 1,000 people come through here today.
Right.
A lot of them right now, this is all Alma students, but boy, throughout the day, you literally have 5 other visiting districts from Gratiot County coming. You know, I don't know, I know it's kind of probably crazy to say at your guys' age, but is it kind of a point of pride for you guys to be able to say, hey, look what our school helps to bring to people and those things like that? What do you think when you see all these people out here?
I would say, yeah. I think it is kind of something to be proud of. It's kind of have a lot of people out here to be like excited to kind of get out. I think it's kind of cool that all the businesses around Alma do provide, you know, that kind of support for students that need a job or are looking forward. Kind of gives them an opportunity to kind of see what's out there for them.
Jack, how about you? Because you literally are in this gym when games are going on. I know leading in, unfortunately, Jackson, process of recovering.
Yep.
He unfortunately tore his ACL in soccer season. Would have been probably the starting point guard on the basketball team.
Yep.
But he's a junior, so be ready because that comeback story is going to be something special next year. But what do you think? I mean, this is a different demographic for your gym that you spend a lot of time in.
Yeah, I'm thankful that we get this opportunity, and not a lot of other high schools have this opportunity to produce it. So I think it really brings in good businesses, helps the other schools have other opportunities.
Excellent. CTE, you know, you part of a substantial part of your guys' schools where our RESD CTE programs are. Are either of you in the CTE programs at all or not?
I am. I do small engines in Mount Pleasant. So basically I'm working on dirt bikes and stone wheels and stuff like that. So
All right.
pretty fun.
I see you ride.
I saw that.
I can see that. You're not scared of much, are you?
No, sir. Well, but sometimes it could be a bad thing, though. I got a bicycle all the time.
But you guys do some cool projects.
Right, yeah. There's some pretty cool stuff that's gone on in there. Right now, we don't have any major projects, but we did just do a competition, disassembling and rebuilding a 17 horsepower already. So that was pretty fun. But yeah, the work that we do in there is pretty cool. We get to work with, the stuff that we bring in ourselves that we own. We're able to do work orders for people that want to bring their stuff in for us to work on. So we get to work on not just our stuff, but also the communities as well. So that's pretty cool. We've kind of learned how to work in that kind of, atmosphere, I guess.
Are you involved in that?
I am involved in that. So I'm thinking about next year doing co-op, though, not exactly this.
Yep, no, for sure. So yeah, Kevin, you got any questions for these guys before we let them get back to the expo?
No, I think we don't want to take too much of their time, but yeah, I appreciate both of you guys sitting down with us today and sharing your story, and thank you again for signing up for the service. And Jack, I hope you have a great senior year next year.
Yep, thank you.
So yeah, big thank you out to Alma High School and everybody that put this event on today, all of the businesses that came in, able to reschedule on a very short notice last week.
Yeah, these guys weren't crying any tears though, 'cause they got dad in school. Now next year, my man, there's no such thing as a day off, so you better enjoy those snow days.
Yes, sir.
Oh, but yeah, no. Thank you both very much. Again, like Kevin said, Alma Schools, thank you so much. It really does take a group effort to make this happen, and we're just blessed. You know, I mean, there's challenges of being in small rural areas, but I think the positives far outweigh those challenges. And these guys have their peers, their friends, staring over here looking at them, and all those things. So we really appreciate you spending time with us this afternoon. Okay, guys?
Appreciate it.
All right.
Having us.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
Here we go, please.
Thank you. Good memories.